similar to the format that we've been spending a lot of time with over the last week. I can't believe it's been a week. It seems like a lot longer since we had our last Invest Local working group, and this is one of the things that we agreed to do this at the same time on Monday from the 4 to 5 Mountain time slot here on Monday afternoon through the rest of the month. So I'll get those, and I'm gonna. Here is our calendar that we're doing for Invest Local. And you can see here, I already updated the branding shift that we're going to be doing, but I'm going to throw this Luma event on here. We build in public and we regularly encourage people to plug in. And anybody that might be watching the live stream, if you've got any questions for us, feel free to chime in there. But got a decent amount of agenda. And one of the things we're going to be talking about is this shift from investLOCAL.xyz to iLOCAL. And one of the things that has been an observation of mine is that people mostly don't identify as investors. And even though when you unpack time, and that's actually the one of the equalizers that we have, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If we wake up that day, we're blessed with another day, and how we use our time. So anyway, decided to extract away the invest, and I think that this will allow us to increase the scope of impact. And just looking at the previous working group agenda from last Monday on January 6th, one of the things that we were talking about was discussing AI agents.box, brainstorm potential AI agents that would be beneficial for Invest Local. And one of the things that has happened since we had this working group a week ago is that we have been leaning heavily into my IRA brand. And looking over here on the AI agents.box calendar, we've got this is we're also going to be adding the events here for Invest Local, iLOCAL, and over here, my IRA.fund. And this is one of the things here. We've got another live stream where we're going to be talking specifically about my IRA.fund tonight. So a lot of the investment functionality of what we're building within the ecosystem at large is going to be handled through my IRA.fund, and with our open source methodology and the ecosystem synergy, that's something that we will be able to benefit. So now thinking about iLOCAL, wanting to, and this is one of the things, going over here to our Telegram, and if you're not in our Telegram, make sure that you join our Telegram. Wanting to talk about, like, let me actually go here real quick to investlocal.xyz so that we can look at the have this as a global movement for cooperative ownership using on-chain technology. And with this slight shift, and this is one of the things I put over here, iLOCAL.fyi, a global movement for fostering local community and cooperative ownership using on-chain technology. So I think that this provides a broader scope of impact. And one of the things that I think that we have an immense opportunity, and this is one of the things, Ernest, that we talked about on our AI agents.box working group the other day, is that with where we're at in 2025 with us and the amount of expertise that we're getting in this sprint and marathon, this functionally puts us in a capability of becoming AI consultants, and the opportunity for us to potentially even create through AI agents.box a certification program for, like, say, AI consultants for small businesses. One of the things that I think is an underserved niche are small businesses here in the United States. And it's a very large opportunity because, like, you think about, like, some of the legacy things, like a chamber of commerce and banks and different things like that. I don't really feel in the 21st century that they do a great job serving small businesses. And this inflection point with where we're at with the rapid development of AI, and then with the AI agents, the opportunity for us to help small businesses deploy their own AI agency, I think is something that we could absolutely create an MVP for in a fairly short manner. So, anyway, I'm going to stop talking and see what everybody else's thoughts are as far as the shift to simplify, abstract away the invest out of invest local and add fostering is a new word and local community is so basically I think the only new words is this right here, fostering local community and to bring it together the and. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking and see what your all thoughts are on that. You guys are going to make this a boring and working group here if it's just me doing all the talking.
I think you lost us in translation.
So, okay, one of the things, like, because when you think about us within pre-launch, our ecosystem, one of the things that I have said and will continue to say, and this is something that we're incorporating into my IRA.fund, is we're wanting to have a mechanism where we can onboard the first 100 members. And whether here, like with iLOCAL, really wanting this to local community. And this is one of the things going back to the addition of this is that like I don't believe that there's a lot of cohesion in our local community. So when you think about like us being on-chain ambassadors, employing marketing capabilities, leveraging technology, and whether we're hosting IRL or virtual events to onboard, because like right now, thinking about an MVP, and that's actually one of the things on today's agenda, discuss MVP ideas with new local FYI. So, like, let's say talking about a iLOCAL FYI for Colorado. So, iLOCAL FYI for Colorado. Initial membership equals $97 lifetime for first 100 members. Founding members for this, and we'll call it a state-based cooperative for local businesses, local businesses and people. Because it's not just for businesses, and like one of the things for I'm thinking too with this like a lower tier value proposition is people like having it be like $7 right now, and this is one of the things like I'm gonna put that like I'm gonna put this here like I'm gonna indent this businesses equals people $7 lifetime for first. And kind of the thoughts here too is with on-chain ambassadors, like we're gonna functionally be founding on-chain ambassadors with our ecosystem. And the thoughts is to give us a portfolio of products that we can start building and decide which ones that we want to lean in and promote. So like um, talked a little bit before we were live about mechanical cupcakes, and that's something that we'll continue to talk about and see how that continues to resonate. But that's a very different niche than talking to local businesses. Like, I wouldn't talk to local business leaders, business owners about mechanical cupcakes. That's a more unique niche for Web3 natives that understand NFTs and maybe gamers is or younger generations. But like businesses, like small business owners in our local communities are probably searching on the internet, how can I use AI to help run my business? And for us, like being able to help answer that question and then provide a framework that we can actually help them deploy that through like a combination of workshops and or boot camps and or whatever we decide to create. The more value that we can add, the easier it will be for us to create a network effect. And this is where early movers advantage with a network effect, where we're solving problems for people, can really just amplify the value proposition of the AI agents that we're going to build within our ecosystem and help our customers and our members and various ecosystem brands that we're building. So does that provide a little bit more clarity there for you, I am Lotus?
I'll catch up. Don't worry.
And this goes back to like some of the other things that was resonating. And let me actually just go here real quick. I'm going to open up an incognito window, and this is kind of to hop in the Wayback Machine. This is our project's homepage here, and you can see some of the mechanical cupcakes AI. So scrolling down this all the way to the bottom of this list is this that I wanted to show right here. This is a image dating all the way back to November of 2021, and zip.coop, because like when you think about like some of the things that local businesses are kind of like big tech, like when you want to have a review you normally go to Yelp or Google, and they've kind of got the review game. And like most of the businesses that like benefit and or don't benefit from that don't benefit from the network effect that Yelp or Google created. The opportunity for us to more shift from having a framework like Yelp or Google through iLOCAL, because the goal is to create a movement for cooperative ownership, like, and foster local community where the people that help to create that network effect, like us as on-chain ambassadors or founding members. And then, like one of the things talking about on this minimum viable product that we could promote to local businesses, this $97, that could be like go up. We could intentionally architect here after we get some traction. And a lot of this will just be completely dependent on delivering value. But like you think about businesses, I don't feel that we have to provide too much value in 2025 for a business to feel that they got $97 value for, especially if we're talking about like having access to workshops, boot camps, or whatever that we wanted to host, where in order to attend that workshop or a boot camp, you have to be a member of our network, whether that's iLOCAL or We Own Network or whatever the case may be. So this is just thinking of some additional ways that we can have conversations with people about onboarding them into on-chain technology. Because the what's going to happen is with what we're building with agents is that the technology is going to be completely abstracted away, and we're going to be solving problems through getting results as a service with these AI agents. And I don't think that it would take very long for us to again create a MVP, because that's something we're wanting to create events where we can start onboarding people into our local communities. And like right now, we're spending an immense amount of effort becoming experts on AI, and even more importantly, AI agents and how to deploy these. And the simpler that we can make this process, as far as like, again, abstracting away a lot of the difficulty and automate a lot of that through programming, and make it a great experience, it'll be very easy because it's basically just copy and paste, and then give some guidance on how that these businesses can use their newly deployed AI agency for improving various tasks in their business that are pain points for them.
Yeah, so I've gotten three. three agents set up in a Telegram group and in my Discord. Um, the capabilities when chatting in Telegram seem reduced compared to in Discord. And then I also plan to set up a Slack that is just for the agent swarm because I've seen other people set up their swarm basically in Slack so that you can give it Slack channels and you can say, hey, manager, do this for me. And then the manager outputs that into three different tasks for three different agents, each in their own channel. And then the research agent picks up that query in its channel. The onboarding agent picks up that it's part of the query in its channel. And then it outputs everything back into the manager channel. And then the manager communicates back with you based on your original query. So I'm going to try learn how to set up the Slack integrations today and then create the based agent, which will be a musician with some private keys. So I'll be able to see what uh, what it can do on base as far as managing a wallet, but then it'll also be able to create music and accept tips. So if you're that's that's my plan. That's my plan for today if I don't get distracted.
Yeah, and like just thinking about like a conversation that I don't think that has been amplified outside of side conversations that I've had with Tyler. One of the things that's a prevalent piece of open source technology powering websites that a lot of small business use is WordPress. And this is something that we already are planning to use within our ecosystem, at least initially. And what that will look like over time, I have no idea. And a lot of that will just depend on like what sort of functionality that we use. And this is another, you think about like value propositions, but that's also why I'm bringing up the WordPress is the opportunity for us to be intentional about niching in. Because like you think about some niche, and I don't know if you all have heard niches, the riches are in the niches. And not to be clear, not doing this to like get rich or anything like this. It's really to solve problems using this technology emergence, this next evolution of technology, AI agents to transition to better ways of doing business for people. So I think that that's a niche that we should be very intentional for multiple different reasons. And I'm not going to unpack what that will look like, but just kind of putting that forward. And let me actually just make a real quick note of that. Continue to discuss WordPress plus AI agents to bridge. And I'm gonna put in here like Web 2 and AI agents. And specifically, as you all know, we're mostly looking to do AI agents on chain so that because this is one of the things too, is that make no mistake, big tech, Microsoft, all of these companies, Amazon, are absolutely like one of the things that I put in the Telegram was have you to go off on a little bit of a tangent? Have you looked at any of the stuff that Amazon has, Ernest?
I haven't checked out much with Amazon Web Services yet, but that
So
seems
this
to be once you start getting into like enterprise solutions, having something that can.
Well, and not even just enterprise solutions, like what we're planning to do for our on-chain ambassadors, and you think about like our on-chain ambassadors continuing to go up and up the participation ladder with the level of their, engagement and scaling and ramping up their business is setting up, like, for example, Amazon has a simple email service. And that's one of the things you think about, like doing email marketing. That's still one of the most effective ways for communicating, even in the 21st century, is via email. And that's something that we will likely have within our design considerations. And this is one of the links that I shared in the Telegram. And this is one of the things too that we need to
So,
work. Go ahead, Ernest.
so one of my distractions earlier was vector shift, and vector shift is giving me like it's an automations platform, so it allows me to set up the workflows, and I can use things like Gmail. They have templates, so they actually have templates for uh, getting your AI agent to do Gmail activity like you're talking about. So that's while I'm waiting on AI to do things for me today. I'm slowly trying to build an agent using vector shift, mainly because that's the person I'm watching with the Slack integration is using vector shift to create the agent. So my first Slack AI agent is going to be a vector shift with a workflow, automation workflow,
Nice.
probably a research one. Not going to get into email too quick.
Yeah, and the email and the marketing stuff, that's absolutely something that we're going to be having some breakout conversations via AI agents.box. But getting back over here to iLocal, like, and just thinking about some of the niches that I would potentially engage, because, like, right now, with how early that we are, I think that there's an opportunity to do some assessment, and this is one of the campaigns. And let me make a new talking point here. Timestamp. We're about 40 minutes in, so I'm going to make note of that. Is develop mechanisms, i.e., using AI agents to fulfill this, to obtain feedback through a an intentional um, way. And I'm not sure if this would be niches. And one of the niches that I'm thinking about, like Tyler can attest how much I am a fan of craft beer. Like another thing, I've been having conversations with Pizza Dow and their real estate crew, like having a conversation with local pizzerias to understand what their pain points are from running their business. And the more that we can understand what their pain points are and potentially automate some of that through a technology standpoint where it can, is where we can create value for local businesses. And one of the reasons that wanting to start with like with businesses is that it's normally businesses that are, leaders in their community as far as the individuals that are running them, and they normally have more influence as well, and maybe even be able to, for example, participate in the My IRA fund, because a lot of business owners have funds, whether it's in a IRA or some other sort of individual retirement arrangement. Um, but anyway, let's see. Niches, like I mentioned, craft beer. This is a niche. And one of the reasons I love craft beer, when you think about like hyper local, and that's one of the things, a lot of restaurants are hyper local, and the opportunity for us to, again, use technology to help businesses get more done. And it's not just businesses. And this is one of the things, like just thinking about like how that we can amplify, like maybe having a free workshop for how small businesses can use AI in 2025 to do things. Because again, the more that we can bring value and then have a mechanism to start fostering relationships and position ourselves as leaders in the space. I think that will uh, pay off dividends for that. So does anybody else have some ideas as far as like local community where that we could like some low-hanging fruit for fostering cooperative ownership? And Hacker House is another one. I mean, we're going to be having conversations around Hacker House, and that's another opportunity. I'm going to put that on here. Hackerhouse.net. Yonks team is still planning an event in Boulder on Jan 30th.
So in my Discord, when you ask it questions in the channel, I'm getting different replies from each of the different AIs instead of just the specific AI agent I was talking to.
Nice. Well, and I think that that's like when you think about orchestrating an agency, like I think that that's one of the things that we can build into design consideration here, where like you think about like a role, like a virtual CEO of our Yonks team AI agency, and then his job or their job is our mechanical cupcake of the Yonks team AI agency would go to his their team of people, whether that's somebody that's doing Discord or Telegram or like maybe Instagram. And you think about like having different channels where you might have some engagement or different types of things. And that's one of the things like having conversations with other people that are really orchestrating. And that's one of the things I had in that right here. This design multi-agent orchestration with reasoning using Amazon Bedrock and open source frameworks. The more that we can continue to unpack like this multi-agent collaboration and really start, that's where we can really amplify through network effects this multi-agent collaboration is kind of my thoughts. So one thing to go back, and I'm going to work on updating this document because this still document is largely geared to invest local goals, and I do love that I have best practices on here. These goals right here are still very much the same. They might change a little bit. Like one of the things I was talking to Tyler about is taking college out of this and just making it a hacker house fund, and I'm going to change this to hackerhouse.net. So these goals are still the same, and that's another thing too. Like having agents, we've been having some conversations around onboarding, and that's one of the things. Like you think about a business that gets a new customer, and this would depend a lot on what type of business that a business is serving. Like obviously a craft brewer that's pouring pints of beer at a local pub has a very different sort of business than a marketing agency that's helping local businesses through their own marketing efforts. And that's one of the reasons talking about WordPress is an interesting niche. But I'm going to take an action item here for myself to update this Google Docs between now and our next working group. And I'm going to put down here action items, Yonks, update this Google Docs to reflect pivot towards. And part of the pivot too with iLOCAL is again to create an easier thing. The onboarding club investment club members, that's going to be a little higher up the participation ladder. And one of the things that we're wanting to reduce is barriers of entry, like over here with iLOCAL.fyi. and we're doing the same sort of dynamic with AI agents.box is and this is one of the things that I'm saying that iLOCAL.fyi and AI agents.box, I think we should really treat them. Now, I think just thinking out loud here a little bit, I could actually see doing a little bit different structuring with iLOCAL than with AI agents.box because you think about like thought leaders on a global basis. There's not too many people that are really at the bleeding edge of working to deploy their own AI agents to do various sorts of things. iLOCAL.fyi has a lot more scope of opportunity because, again, we're really wanting this to be iLOCAL.fyi, a mechanism for onboarding people into on-chain technology and using what we build to largely abstract away a lot of the technology away from them from a UX UI standpoint. All right, so I've been talking a good majority of the time here. We've got our upcoming working group for myira.fund here in 4 hours. Looking forward to that. Again, that's where we're going to be spending most of our time. We're going to be doing a myira.fund besides the one tonight. That's going to occupy this same time slot, this 4 to 5 p.m. time slot here through the rest of the week, and I'm just scrolling through here. So a lot of the functionality that we'll be building for the ecosystem at large is something that we can really refine while we're working on creating a minimum viable product for myira.fund. But here over with iLOCAL wanting to reduce the barrier of entry again for getting people into our ecosystem and looking to create feedback mechanisms because that's how we can really understand what problems that we need to solve, what are businesses' pain points that we want to niche into as local ambassadors for iLOCAL or for AIagents.box or myira.fund or whatever that we as on-chain ambassadors want to promote within the ecosystem that we're building out. Well, I don't see anybody opening up their mic. If we don't have anything else, I'm going to give everybody a few minutes back of their day, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the share here. And then if anybody wants to say adieu, this will be your opportunity.
I do. Lotus, do you have an hour or so today to chat?
A what?
Do you have time to chat here shortly?
Sure, sure. Where do you want it? In your Discord?
Yeah, well, we just start there.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you, Jason.
Absolutely. Looking forward to our conversation tonight, our third office hours for myira.fund. Love hanging out with you all. Let's change the world in 2025 and beyond.
Bye, Tyler. See you guys next time. Bye.